Hello again, Mike Hagan, and welcome to another edition of Mike Hagan and the Strength Team podcast. It has been a month and a half since we have done our last podcast, and so I had a couple of emails. People said, "What's up with the podcast?" We had the one with Justin Schneiders and Andy Gavin, which was a big hit.
We were down in South Carolina.
And South Carolina. But we've been going literally every week after week, in different places throughout the country. A lot of stuff that we've been in Florida. If I started to individually announce like I normally do where we've been at, I'm just trying to figure out where we're going. And today, what's the date today?
Today is the 24th, correct? Today's the 24th.
That's bad when you don't remember what day it is.
We run into each other, yeah.
Yeah.
We just spoke to 504 elementary school kids there?
Exactly. We
at your old
this is like an alma mater here. Fifth grade alma mater. We're Valhalla Elementary School in Federway, Washington. And a lot of you've heard my story before, but it was third grade. I lost my dad in an automobile accident, and then went through a thing where a year later, when I was in the fourth grade, when I was right here in this area in Federway, found out I had a learning disability called dyslexia. And really, Valhalla was the only program that was set up in the district, the Federway district, for kids who had learning disabilities, kids with dyslexia. And this was a major school that really helped get me on the way in success in life and helped me in education. So it was neat to come back here. Now, how many years later would that be?
Well, the funniest part was that Mike came back looking for his fifth grade teacher. And I'm sitting in the back of the car thinking, well, that may be it may be kind of tough to find her here, Mike, but we'll look for her when we get here.
I think she's in the nursing home. No, I'm just kidding. Well, she would have been older because 35, 40 years old then, and that would have been 1970. No, think about it. No, that would have been 40.
Yes, yeah.
Is that 1970?
70,
so that'd be 40 years ago.
40 years,
yeah. So anyway, I'm the oldest member of the strength team. A lot of the guys make fun of that, but I don't care. It's all state of mind. But things are going good. Just want to give a quick update. A couple things going on. First of all, this week we are in Federway, Washington. Crusade starts the 26th, Wednesday night through Sunday night at Decatur High School, and we have the other team out in Jamestown, North Dakota, and Harvey, North Dakota. They're going to do 8 days of events and crusades out there. And then, of course, we go into the Florida Southern Baptist Convention. We're doing the block parties. We have South Florida events. And then we're also going to be at the state convention. We're excited that we're going to be at the state convention this year in Tennessee. And so that's a tremendous Florida Southern, or Tennessee Southern Baptist has allowed us to come in and be able to do events with them, and so actually have a booth set up. And so we're excited about the potential and the possibility of Alabama and all the other events that we're doing. So a lot of good things are happening. But one of the things that we talked about in our school assembly today is that if you have a dream in your life, is to hold on to your dream, don't let go.
That's right.
We talk about dream makers, dream takers, and how a lot of young people today, they raise their hand, William, 5th grade, 6th grade,
right,
and they said, I want to be a veterinarian, or I want to be in the military, or I want to play pro football, or all the different.
right.
But if they don't make the right choices in life to be successful, to be able to get them to that position,
Choices.
it's all about choices. And so, we say it, you're not born a winner, you're not born a loser, but we're all born choosers. So you got to make the right choice in life.
Well, the good part about it is, Mike, at least at the elementary level, they still raise their hands. And we see we have our work cut out for us, because week after week we go into the schools and we kind of ask the older kids, what are your goals and dreams? And they don't seem to raise their hands. So our goal in the strength team is to get that instilled at an early age, elementary school. Hey, you got to hold on to that goal of dream. Even when you get older, get into high school, hold on to that goal of dream. Because, I tell them all the time, unfortunately, we go to different places where we go to detention centers and we speak to these kids. And one thing they all have in common is they didn't have that goal of dream. So we feel like if we can reach them at an early enough age, reach them in elementary school, and have them to know their goal and dream is very important, to hold on to it and have that carried on with them throughout their life, they have a very good chance of being successful.
Well, and that's kind of like your story.
Absolutely.
It's like William went through the most extreme, difficult circumstances, where he lost his mom and dad by the time he was 13 years old, and brought up in a very, very projects, silver building housing projects,
Right.
foster care, living with his grandmother. But one positive thing in his life that he held on to was football and sports, and
Absolutely.
that drove him. And
But my mother taught me at a very early age, and I'm a product of, when a seed is planted, if it's the right seed, if it's seed inspired by the word of God, it sticks, and the smallest things stick to these kids, and it just forms in their body, and it plants the seed in their mind, and they go forward with it. My mother taught me when I was young, whatever it is you want in this life, if you're willing to work hard enough for it and believe that God can give it to you, you can accomplish it. And I remember being a young kid saying, man, that's really all that I had to hold on to, was that hope of, accomplishing what I wanted to accomplish one day, and believing enough that God can give it to me. Now I know when we go into the schools, we can't, separation of church and state, we can't talk about Christ and that part of it, but we can still give them a very positive message. You have a seed of great potential inside of you, and whatever it is you want to do, you can accomplish it if you're willing to work hard enough for it. So it's very, very important. I think it was great part of your testimony that you got to come back to this school. It's just the way things work and speak to these kids. So.
And so, I mean, it's if you say that the number one thing that kids are struggling with today, I really feel like there's a lot of kids out there that have low self-esteem,
Absolutely.
negative environment in the home, negative things going on that really affect them in their
Right.
decisions, and they feel, and really that's what the strength team is all about. We come into a school assembly and we're just trying to encourage the kids, and sometimes when you speak life to a young person or say, hey, you can do it, you can make it, it's like their little eyes just,
Absolutely.
especially at this age, the middle
Absolutely.
school age and elementary school age. So today we're speaking in the high school at Decatur High School.
That should be fun.
We'll be at for the next 5 nights, and so that's going to be awesome. So I just wanted to do an update for our podcast. We're going to put this up for this week's podcast, and I just want to say thank you, friends and partners, for your prayers and your support.
Yes.
Monthly givers. I just want to say as a praise report that we have totally turned the corner on our partner program. People are standing with the strength team monthly. We're so appreciative of your giving, and so thank you. Continue in your support in that area. It helps us be able to do schools,
Yes.
missions. Last thing I want to say before the end of the podcast is that we have just announced that we're going to Haiti, and if you're a partner or a friend of the strength team, you could probably get a mailer, an email about our Haiti outreach, which is going to be February 12th through the 15th. We're partnering with the Florida Southern Baptist Convention, David Burton, and it's going to be an outstanding trip. And so find out about that in the next couple months. You can be a part of that trip. You can see that in the newsletter or on the Facebook about how you can be a big part of the Haiti trip. Some plant, some water, but God gives the increase. And we're believing that God's going to meet the need so we can go there and do all we're going to do. It's going to be a great outreach.
Absolutely.
So anyway, we'll see you next week. And if we're not going to go a month and a half before we do another podcast, but we want to see you next time. I don't want to say next week because that puts the pressure. I got to do a podcast.
As soon as
So,
we can.
next time we see you on another edition of Mike Hagan and the Strength Team podcast.